Hey, what is going on, guys? It's DK. Back at you with another video here to bring the 5-game NBA main slate on Saturday. Before I get into the video, if you guys are new to the channel, welcome. My name is DK. I make daily videos and live stream for NBA and NFL slates on Draftkings, coming to you live from a conference room of this hotel lobby, kind of hoping no one walks in. So, yeah, just had to get, obviously, a video up here for you guys. But if you're unable to watch these YouTube videos, I also upload on Apple Podcasts. Link down below. It's called the DKDFS Show. And if you're interested in signing up for premium content, I offer a few different packages on Patreon.com, NBA, NFL, and esports. And then I want to thank the sponsor of the video, PrizePicks. So PrizePicks is a player prop site where you can take over, under, and fantasy points, or over, under, and straight up points, assists, rebounds, three-pointers made. They have a ton of different sports. You can mix and match sports. So if you guys want to try it out, and sign up, use my code DKDFS. That is DKDFS, all one word. You'll get a 100% match up to $100. And I want to thank you guys again for all of your support. Really do appreciate all you guys coming and checking out the videos every single day. NBA DFS, especially, we know can be tilting, but I appreciate you guys again coming in and watching the videos every day. Make sure, if you do enjoy, to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. I got no live streams for the next couple of days, but I should be back live Monday. All right, so before we get in players and the prices for this 5-game slate, let's look back at my lineup here from tonight. So last night had a takedown, and then tonight we're right back to the BS, guys. Right back to 3 players in severe foul trouble and 2 in a random blowout. So let's go over my lineup. It is just a forgettable night. One, I just want to throw out the window and move on. Nothing you can do about it, too, with the foul trouble, right? Paul George, foul trouble. Cade Cunningham, foul trouble. Jarrett Vanderbilt, my low on value play that I used, massive foul trouble. It's just like, really? Really? And then I go to low on John Morant, massive blowout. Same with Steven Adams. So, again, it's just like, I just had no chance. Wendell Carter Jr., I finally go to him. He got his minutes slashed. He was playing 35 minutes a night. For some reason, only played 25 minutes tonight. Yay! So, yeah, just one of those nights where I already have a lineup in for the late slate, hoping that can do better, hoping I can chase some of my losses back, but just one I'm just gonna forget about. But going over some ownership again, I'll check out. This is the Hall of Famer. What's the details on this? I think it's a $3,000 entry or $2,000 entry in this one. Yeah, $2,000 entry. I was checking out ownership here. As I always say, ownership's going to condense to the good plays. Pat Beverly, 80%. Cade Cunningham, 70%. No real surprise. They were the 2 best values in the slate. Paul George, 31% owned. Also not a surprise. Him and Giannis were the 2 best spun-ups disregarding ownership before the slate started. Jaren Jackson Jr. got 27% ownership. Let's see. Was there anything else I wanted to go over? And Giannis, 40%. Jarrett Allen was pretty popular. But, yeah, it looks like a pretty bad night for a lot of the high-stakes players as well. So I'm not alone just looking at this ownership. A lot of just Paul George, Giannis, Cade, Beverly, right? Steven Adams, 20%. I was debating Adams versus Zubac. I felt a little bit more comfortable with Adams' minutes because Zubac, like, besides that last game, he played, like, was averaging 15 minutes. But, yeah, gonna be a forgettable night for myself. But that's it for the look back, guys. Hope you had a better night, and let's talk about this 5-gamer. So I don't think we have any. Oh wait, I can't refresh. Bovada's like not. You can't use Bovada in New York, so like we're not gonna be able to look at the Vegas odds. Whatever. All right, we'll start off with Utah and Miami. So Utah, the big piece of news here we're waiting on is Donovan Mitchell. Let me see if I'm close enough to this mic. Donovan Mitchell, 9.3K. If he does play, you can use him as a contrarian spend up. It's a really bad matchup, honestly, for both teams. Utah, good defensively. Miami, good defensively. So I don't want a ton of exposure to this game unless Donovan Mitchell gets ruled out. Then it's right back to those same guys. Conley, Clarkson, and Joe Ingles. It all look pretty good. All get a massive usage bump. They all started really slow last game, which really tilted me, but they got there in the second half. So even in a tough matchup, I would like all three of those guys. But Bogdanovic gets a slight boost, but he's pretty reliant on scoring. Even Royce O'Neal gets a boost. So there would be a good amount to like here for Utah in a tough matchup, even or if Donovan Mitchell gets ruled out. And then Whiteside is contrarian value play. I think is fine. Revenge game narrative. Should play around 15 minutes. So, yeah, the big piece of news here is Donovan Mitchell. Moving on to Miami, we got to keep an eye on Kyle Lowry's status. He's currently questionable. If he misses, that's a usage bump to Jimmy and Bam. Again, though, tough matchup, so I don't know if either be a priority play. Hero probably gets a slight bump, might play a couple extra minutes. I don't think he starts. I think they would start Gabe Vincent, who, what was it? He didn't play a ton. Yeah, it was this game against Indiana. He played 25 minutes. So if he starts, sure, you can use him as a punt play, but he's really not going to be a focal point on the offensive end. All right, moving on to Philly. So a couple of big pieces of news to keep an eye on here is Korkmaz and Danny Green. Because they're already out without Tobias Harris and Ben Simmons. They could be pretty thin. They were in an 8-man rotation last game. They only had 9 healthy bodies. So would be a decent amount to like here for Philadelphia. We'll start Joel Embiid, who has been awful. Absolutely awful so far to start the year. Not playing big minutes, a competitive game, 30 to 32 at best. It's so weird with everyone out. I just don't have a ton of interest in Embiid. Like, if you want to go there and hope he gets back to the Embiid of last year, I get it. But, like, man, it's going to be hard for me to do that. Like, Andre Drummond's been out playing Joel Embiid, but he's priced up, and I don't want to play him in, like, 15 to 20 minutes. But now this is where things get interesting. And if Korkmaz and Green are out, I really like this value here. Milton, Niang, Maxey. Maxey played 45 minutes last game, guys. He played 45 minutes. He left the court for 3 minutes. Seth Curry would be in play. My only issue with Seth Curry, no real peripheral stats, so pretty reliant on scoring. Niang played big minutes off the bench. He played 32 minutes. And Shake Milton started and played like 35 minutes. So there would be a lot to like here for Philadelphia if Korkmaz and Green are out. Even Thibault, again, more out the first defense, but he probably plays upwards of 30 minutes. So, yeah, those two pieces of news are big. If Korkmaz and Green are both in, then not as much to like here for Philadelphia value. So that's pretty big to keep an eye on. Moving on to Chicago. So Chicago's always a team when their like 4 best players are healthy. It's hard to prioritize one. I will say, like, DeMar DeRozan probably has been their best player so far this year. Last 3 games, 43, 52, and 53 fantasy points. So if you want to go to 8.3K DeMar DeRozan, I'm not going to talk you off him, man. He's been great. He's been rebounding the ball at a good clip. I just don't know if he continues to shoot the ball 20 plus times and continue to shoot like 70% from the field, or he's been shooting really, really well. So I don't know if that continues. The rest are just GPP plays for me with Vucevic, Levine, and Lonzo Ball. Nothing really stands out there. Caruso at 3.9K, we kind of know his role off the bench. Probably going to play 25 to 30 minutes. A guy that can stuff the stat sheet, will handle the ball at times. So like Caruso there for value. That's probably it. Like, Javonte Green's been starting, but not the best point per minute guy. I think I would just rather go to Caruso at a similar price. Moving on to Boston and Dallas. So Jaylen Brown is already out for this game. But Boston guys are kind of priced up. So start with Jason Tatum at 9.6K. I do think he's a pretty good spend up, a better matchup than some of the other stars we've talked about so far. But, like, it's not grading him super cheap. So if he was 9.6K with Jaylen Brown in, I would have no interest. But with Jaylen Brown out, I think Jason Tatum does become a pretty solid spend up here. Horford's been my favorite play in Boston the last few slates. 7.6, though, is now getting to the point where feels about right. Like, I think he plays 30 to 35 minutes, so fair option. But I think I'd rather spend up a little more for Jason Tatum and his upside. Let's see. Dennis Schroeder, I think, plays more minutes at 5.4K. I think he's a pretty good play in the mid-range. I'm interested to see what they do with the starting lineup. Do they maybe move Grant Williams in? Do they move Schroeder in the starting lineup? We'll see. Marcus Smart's fine. Like, he'll play 30 minutes. I think I like the upside more on Dennis Schroeder, though, at a similar price. Moving on to Dallas. So Porzingis looks like he will be good to go. He practiced on Friday, so that kind of takes the value out of play here for Dallas. So start with Luka Doncic at the top at 10.7K. I think he'll be pretty low owned. We have really not seen a big Luka game yet this year. I think he's a fine spend up and not a priority play for me. And with Porzingis back, kind of takes the value out of play for me. Like, Brunson, I guess, is still viable off the bench. Maybe they keep him in the starting lineup with how well he's played. We'll see. If he continues to start with Porzingis in, then I have more interest in Brunson. If he comes on the bench and plays, mid-20s minutes, he's just kind of a secondary option for me. And that's probably it. Like, Powell with Porzingis back definitely takes a hit usage-wise. Like, I think his minutes go down a little bit. So, like, you can still use them, but yeah, there's not much else here for Dallas. All right, Atlanta and Phoenix. Tough matchup here for the Hawks. And the price points, nothing really stands out to me. Trae Young, fine tournament option. Capella and Collins both seem priced about right in a tough spot. The wings are always secondary options for me. I guess if I had to pick one, it would be DeAndre Hunter, who has played 33 and 31 minutes the last couple of games. he seems to be the guy, the cheap wing that's getting the most minutes at the moment. So, but again, he's really more out there for his defense. But if I had to pick one, it would be DeAndre Hunter. Moving on to Phoenix. So keep an eye on campaign status. If campaign is out, I think we get pretty big minutes from Chris Paul just because they don't want to give a lot of minutes to Alfred Payton. Chris Paul's been playing about 35 minutes a game. Last 3 games, 37, 36, and 34. A guy that had 12, 18, and 13 assists. So I do like Chris Paul a good amount if campaign is out. Devin Booker in play for tournaments. We know the floor is there. The ceiling a little bit higher than Paul. So both Phoenix guards I like here. Paul, safer option. Booker, the ceiling guy. DeAndre Ayton, I feel like is a little bit too cheap at 6.5K. I think in a competitive game he plays 30 to 34 minutes. So like the price here on DeAndre Ayton at that only 6.5. The wings are always secondary options for me, and then JaVale McGee will play the backup 5 role, probably around 12 to 15 minutes. I think he's actually in play because he's that good of a point per minute guy. And then Cam Johnson, if you want to play him, he'll play 20 to 22 minutes on the bench, but he basically has to hit his threes. All right, finally, Lakers and Blazers. This game looks pretty interesting. LeBron out, Anthony Davis questionable. So I think Anthony Davis plays, but that'll obviously be someone to keep an eye on. If Anthony Davis misses, then both centers look great in Dwight Howard and DeAndre Jordan, and then Westbrook would be an amazing play. But if Anthony Davis is in, then I like the top 2 guys here, Westbrook and AD. Both get a massive usage bump. I'm throwing that last game out the window for Westbrook, so really like him and Anthony Davis, assuming they both play. And the rest of the Lakers, like Melo's fine at 5.8K. We'd probably get mid to high 20s minutes from him. The bigs, if AD is in, they're more secondary options for me. Avery Bradley's like playing 30 minutes a game. He's really, really bad point per minute guy, but he's only 3.1K, so he's playable. And then Rondo did get in the rotation last game without LeBron. I think he plays 15 or so minutes. At the flat man price, I do think he's in play. He's a guy that can go get you 25 fantasy points in 15 minutes. Like, he does have that type of upside. And finally, Portland. So the 2 guards and Dame and CJ both in play. Dame is yet to have a good game. We'll see how he plays tonight. That game's coming up in about 20 minutes, but don't mind him for tournament. CJ probably a little bit of a safer option. Nurkic just continues to hover in that like 26 to 28 minute range, so he's just a secondary option at the moment. Norman Powell feels a little bit too cheap at 4.8K. I think he plays around 30 minutes. And then I'm curious to see what the minutes are at Simons tonight. He's played 29, 24 last couple games. If he continues to play, mid to high 20s minutes, I think he's an interesting value play. But yeah, guys, that's going to do it for the video today. So if you have been enjoying the content, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Thanks again, guys. Have a great night, and I will see you all in the next video.